Hi, welcome everyone who have already joined this webinar today. We will just start in a moment. We'll just give some time for other participants to join in. This is Pulak this side. We will commence the webinar very soon. Please hold on. So for all those who have already joined in, a warm welcome from IIM Raipur and VCNow. We will start in a moment. We are just allowing some other people to join in, and we will start in a moment very soon. I think we can start now. Okay, fine. Welcome everyone on this Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us today for the IIM Raipur's live online webinar, which is titled as Attaining Strategic Excellence in Operations and Projects, Advancing to the Next Level. We're delighted to have you with us for this insightful session today. So as you know, operations and project management are pivotal in reshaping the industry landscape by driving efficiency, innovation, and strategic alignment. Quality insights and learnings in operations and project management equips professionals with the essential skills and knowledge to excel in their roles, adapt to changing environments, and drive strategic success in within their organizations. Today we will be showcasing IIM Raipur's 6-month executive development program in operations and project management, a specially designed course aimed at empowering professionals like you with advanced skills and strategies to drive excellence in your operations and projects. The executive development program in this area is a dynamic and immersive 6-month journey designed for seasoned professionals aspiring to elevate their leadership capabilities in the realms of operations and project management. The program is crafted by IIM Raipur and is equipped and is aimed at equipping participants with advanced skills, strategic insights, and practical tools essential for navigating complex business landscapes. After our presentation, we will also have a Q&A segment wherein we would encourage you to ask your questions. In the meantime, if you have any queries in mind, you can put it in the chat box so that we can respond during the Q&A time. I'm extremely delighted to introduce you to our key speakers of today, who are distinguished professors from IIM Raipur. I would like to thank them for rendering their valuable time today for the audience. So let me first introduce Professor Mohit Goswami. Professor Goswami brings a unique blend of academic and industry expertise. Before his academic tenure, he held key roles in renowned companies including Caterpillar Inc. USA, Tata Motors Limited, and Tata Hitachi Construction Machinery Company Limited. At IIM Raipur, he imparts knowledge to MBA and PhD students covering areas such as new product development, supply chain design, product line management, and risk modeling in the supply chain. Professor Goswami's research, featured in respected journals like IEEE Transactions in Engineering Management and the International Journal for Production Research, focuses on advancing the understanding of various aspects of engineering and technology management. I would next introduce Professor Gopal Kumar to the audience. Professor Gopal Kumar, Associate Professor of Operations Management at IIM Raipur, holds a PhD in Supply Chain Collaboration from IIT Kharagpur. With a background in industrial engineering and management, which is a MTech from IIT Kharagpur, and postdoctoral research at Dublin City University, Ireland, he combines academic rigor with practical shop floor experience. His research, published in esteemed journals, focuses on supply chain collaboration, sustainability, sourcing, product service systems, big data analytics, business process automation, and IT applications for optimizing SME operations. Last but not the least, I would also introduce Professor M. Ramkumar. Dr. Ramkumar, an assistant professor in operations management at IIM Raipur, previously served as a postdoctoral researcher at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. Dr. Ramkumar holds a PhD in industrial and systems engineering from IIT Kharagpur and has a production engineering and management background. His interdisciplinary research explores the convergence of operations management and information systems, covering supply chain technologies, sustainability, and humanitarian operations. His work is published in respected international journals such as Service Sciences, International Journal of Production Economics, and IEEE Systems Journal. We are really excited about the knowledge and opportunity this session would bring in, and look forward to your active participation. I would again like to thank you for being here today. Without much delay, I would forward the forum to our esteemed speakers right now, so that they can take it forward from here.
So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Pulaji, for a wonderful introduction. And let me welcome all the attendees here. I see there are 63 odd attendees here. And from the IIM Raipur side, we welcome all of you to this program. Especially thank you, given that it's a Saturday evening and you have still managed to be here with all of us today. So the first part is going to be, we are going to just give you a broad overview of the program. I'll walk through the operations management part. Thereafter, I'll hand it over to Professor Gopal Kumar, who will be walking you through the supply chain part. And then Professor Ram Kumar would be also talking about the project management part as far as this particular executive development program is concerned. So typically, whenever we talk about operations management, supply chain management, or project management, ultimately it intends to create value in terms of delivery of goods or services. So if you are talking about goods in terms of automobile, in terms of FMCGs, etc. If you're talking about services, we are talking about the service industries, things like airline, industries like hotels, hospitality, etc., etc. What you will typically see is that operations management has evolved over a period of time from a pre-industrial revolution era to an industrial revolution era, where the emphasis became more on the efficiency part. We had the advent of assembly line, and now we are in the mass customization era as well as digital era, wherein particularly in the good side, customers are also looking for a huge degree of customization, while in case of services, they are looking at huge degree of mass personalization already. So these are the type of things that we'll be covering. At the same time, we will be also covering some emerging paradigms within the services. So for example, you might have read about the platform-based economies, platform-based operating models, the way companies like Ola or Uber works, the way companies like Airbnb works, wherein they are a centralized platform connecting two different sites. So for example, in case of Ola or Uber, Ola or Uber respectively is a platform entity which connects both the driver side as the rider side. So in this case, there are multiple dynamic decision points that often gets made. So for example, one of that decision points is related to dynamic pricing itself. How do you essentially fix those dynamic pricing? What is the underlying thought about those pricing models, etc.? So those are something we'll be covering in the operations management part as well. Towards the latter part of the operations management, we will have increased emphasis on the analytics element as well, particularly with the help of database decision making or optimization model or various mathematical model. We'll also look at how do I further optimize our decision points so that it would lead to better efficiency, it would lead to better synergies in terms of increased profits, reduced costs, in terms of reduced variabilities, higher productivity, etc. So in this case, we will be talking about various shades like linear programming, shadow price, multi-linear programming, some of the other optimization models as well. So this is as far as the operations management part is concerned. The next part, which is the supply chain part, the role of which you have seen tremendously in whether it's COVID or whether it's a semiconductor shortage, wherein we are dealing with movement of goods as well as information as well as credit or the monetary element across the entire structure of the supply chain. So for that, let me invite Professor Gopal Kumar, and he will be emphasizing on the specific nuances of the supply chain.
Thank you, Professor Mohit and Mr. Pulag, for introducing this certification program and all of us. And good evening first. So here, let me give you a brief introduction about supply chain management and quality management, which we will be covering in this program. So Professor Mohit was actually talking about different operational activities. And you know that operations activities are meant to produce products and deliver it to the customers. So basically, you need a supply chain which can actually do and perform all the activities from end to end in order to deliver right products to the right customers in the right form. This is the very basic objective of supply chain. And you see that every supply chain must actually come up with certain objectives, certain goal, and every supply chain must then implement that objective and try to achieve with right operational activities. And that is why you see that different supply chains like Amazon supply chains, Unilever supply chain, and Apple supply chain, and in fact Walmart supply chain, they are fundamentally different in their strategic goal and then operational implementations. So this certification program will take you through a strategic view of supply chain, and we will be actually discussing different aspects of different companies, that how their strategic perspective differs from one supply chain to another. And then we will be actually discussing its implementation aspects. When your strategic aspects differ, how it can be translated to the operational activities where you actually achieve your goal. So in this course, we will be actually covering improvement in cost, improvement in responsiveness, and these two usually used to be the conventional objective of any supply chain. But today, you know that resilience is actually becoming more and more important, because we have been actually seeing and we have been experiencing so many disruptions in so many different supply chains operating in different geographical boundaries. So today it becomes very important to understand and mitigate different aspects of these disruptions. So this certification program also takes you through resilience aspect of supply chain, and we will be discussing about how we can actually achieve, how we can actually make the supply chain more resilient. And definitely we will be actually covering different cases. Through the understanding of different cases and practical examples, we will be actually trying to understand, and we will be trying to acquire some skills based on the strategic perspective and implementation aspects. Then, so whatever process you may have, maybe purchasing, maybe distribution, maybe inventory management, maybe manufacturing, assembly line, retailing, whatever operational activities you may have, all the activities must improve over time. Otherwise, it may become incompetitive in the market. So to make our processes, to make every process of the supply chain competitive, we must emphasize on improvement aspect. So this certification program also actually brings Six Sigma and quality perspective to improve the existing process and to make it more competitive, and to actually remain competitive and to make it more competitive in future. So basically, continuous process improvement is important. So this certification programs actually brings different aspects of continuous process improvement, like Six Sigma perspective, DMAC strategy, PDCA methods, and we will also actually discuss some of the quality tools which actually helps you improve the existing processes. So these things are important here, and here I will stop and then I will transfer the introduction to Professor Ramkumar.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Professor Gopal and Professor Plug, sir. So first, let me introduce about project management. So first and foremost thing that we have to know is how we will be able to differentiate projects with day-to-day operations. The first, the uniqueness is the selling point here. Because of the uniqueness, what are the various problems that we will be facing in estimation of time, estimation of cost, right? So I will give you a small case, international thermonuclear experimental reactor. So as far as this particular project is concerned, so it is commenced by 31 countries all over the world. So this project started in around 2007. When this project started, so it was estimated that they will be able to complete this project with $5 billion. But what happened? Till now, the project has not completed. And as far as this particular project is concerned, so it is different articles are mentioning it as the countries have spent around $65 billion as of today. It means more than 10 times, right? So initially they have thought it will be taking only 10 years time for you to complete this project, but as far as this particular project is concerned, it has taken more than 25 years time, right? So this is the situation. Now we have to understand why it is happening. So one such reason might be poor planning or poor estimation. Second one might be a risk. So as far as risk is concerned, so I will tell you, Russia is a part of the project, Ukraine is a part of the project, USA is the part of the project, China is the part of the project, Israel is the part of the project. Maybe last year, last year, maybe Russia and Israel might have funded tremendously, but now they are focusing more on war. So the way they might have funded previously and now there might be some sort of difference. So sometimes what will happen, the major problems we will not understand about risk, what might be happening in the future. So then we will end up in poor estimation, right? So these things are happening because of the risk associated with the project and because of the flavor of uniqueness that is situated around the projects. Second one is now there is a very good concept that is emerging in project management that is called agile projects. Now let us take an example related to the same ITER project. So here you will not be even able to connect the dots. You know you have to create energy through a fusion reaction, but you will not be able to arrive at a work breakdown structure. The base of project management is arriving at the work breakdown structure. But here, if you are not able to arrive at the work breakdown structure, there are other ways by following some sort of agile methods with hub structure, we will be able to attain, right? So as far as this particular subject is concerned, you will be learning about how projects are different from day-to-day operations. What are the various methods through which you will be able to effectively select the projects? We will be learning about the basics of work breakdown structure, how we will be able to arrive at the work packages. From there, how we will be able to estimate the time. So what are the two different types of methods like top-down approach and bottom-up approach where they will be able to do the estimation. Then we will also understand about resource allocation and optimization related to projects. Then we will learn about different methodologies related to handling risks or managing risks related to projects. As far as project management is concerned, you will be able to see we will end up in dealing with multiple subcontractors. So we will also learn about some sort of contract management part over here. The last thing that is very much important is monitoring the progress. Otherwise, we might be thinking everything is going in the right direction, but there is a gap between the actuals and whatever you have estimated. So it is very much important for us to monitor the project. So we will be learning about something called the value analysis. And at the last, we will also spend some 4.5 to 6 hours time in learning about agile practices related to project, right? So these are all from my side.
So
Yes.
So thank you, Professor Ram, Professor Gopal. So just to re-emphasize here is that what you will see you will see eclectic flavor in terms of unique teaching pedagogy. You will see often we will end up doing breakout rooms. In that you will have to come up with certain solutions on the spot. We will be focusing upon learning of various tools. We will be focusing on certain operational frameworks as well. And all of these would be driven also by a number of Harvard source cases that captures realism of nuances of various these challenges that runs across, whether it's operations or whether it's supply chain or whether it's project management. So we are essentially trying to provide a holistic perspective, taking into account the strategic element as well as the tactical element as far as this course is concerned.
Thank you, Professor Mohit, Professor Gopal, Professor Ramkumar. I think in a nutshell, you have shared the the intent of the program with a larger objective. We will of course go to the Q&A section, but before that, I think for the benefit of the audience, we will actually share with you the structure of the program, because many of you would be curious to know what this program is all about in terms of design. So yes. Yotirma, you can move on to the next slide. Yeah. So this is predominantly a 6 months program, which is live online. This is not a asynchronous program, just like other institutes. This is a fully live program wherein the professors will be investing their time and energy into training the cohort. This is the introductory batch from IIM Raipur. So of course, you will be, once you graduate out, you will be the introductory batch to complete. Eligibility would be either graduation or PG with 2 years of work experience. And this experience can be from any industry. It is not limited to the operations or project management or logistics industry. It could be from any sector. Mode of delivery would be live online, which will be direct to device. So which means that you will be able to access the live classes from the comfort of your home or office. There will be 2 campus immersions, a great opportunity for networking, with your peers while you are at the campus. This will be conducted at the IIM Raipur campus at the end of the program. And this will be of 2 days. And this is a compulsory kind of a component which you need to attend after the completion of the program. Your general online schedule of classes would be on Sundays. So we have chosen a very convenient time. And thanks to the professors for sharing this kind of slot for us. So the sessions are scheduled every Sunday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:15 p.m. The certification would be a certificate of completion. Once you successfully complete the program, there will be regular assessments which you have to clear after you complete the program or between the program. For every module, there will be some assessment which will be decided by the esteemed faculties. And once you complete that, you get a certificate, which is an industry recognized certificate in terms of the subject matter in operations and project management. The program fee, in comparison to other IIMs, we have kept it on a very affordable, kind of a bracket, because we understand that most of the aspirants would be of a younger lot, 2 years plus, with the opportunity that they get to learn. So we have kept it at 1,05,000 plus GST. GST component being 18%. And we also have a flexible installment plan of 3 installments, which of course, our counselors will share with you once you interact with them. Right. So this is the basic structure of the program. Next slide. So this is a sample certificate. There could be some minor design changes, but largely this would be the kind of certificate that you would receive after the completion of the program, only after the successful completion of the program, right? Yeah, next. Program modules, of course, our esteemed professors have slightly touched upon, but largely these are the header modules, which will be covered in the program. So it starts with the foundations of operations management, analytics and operations management, wherein the analytical part will be discussed. Supply chain and quality management will be discussed. Project management, planning and estimation. Project management, under project management, you will also be covering risk management, stakeholder management, and agile projects. As Professor Gopal also shared with us, the in-campus immersion would be 12 hours spread across two days, so which will be at the end of the program. And project presentations, in-class discussions, simulation exercise, classroom lectures, everything will be a part of the program, along with regular assessment to complete the program. We have the detailed curriculum also. So once our webinar is complete, you can request, and we will also share with you the brochure with the detailed, curriculum of the program. And you will also have the contact numbers there so that you can reach out to our people, counselors, and who will guide you to enroll for the program also. I will also mention the dates that we have planned for this program, commencement of the program. So the class schedule we have already discussed, Sundays 11:30 a.m. to 2:15 p.m. The last date to apply so far is August 31st, 2024. We have limited seats, so we will not go beyond the capacity of the batch. So you need to hurry in case you wish to be a part of this cohort. The program commencement, the program, briefing or the technical orientation will happen during end of August. But however, the program would commence from the mid of September. And campus immersion, of course, we had shared that it would be of 2 days at the end of the program. Online application link would also be available to you over the brochure and the mailer that you will receive after this webinar. Right. We will also share with you the contact details for our program manager is Mr. Mohammad Nafiz, who is also a part of this session today. Nafiz, you can say a hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Yeah, so you can reach out to Mr. Nafiz at this number 92894 88087. And of course, you will also have the call center number, which will be shared over the brochure details also, wherein you can reach out to us. So we will now move on to the Q&A section. So I already see 1 or 2 queries which have been posted on the chat. Okay. I'll just check. Okay, Mr. Mukesh Pandey has mentioned that I have a query: project delivery versus service delivery, day-to-day operations. Which strategic unique method could we apply simultaneously, commonly? So I would request any of our esteemed professors to respond to this query.
So as far as project delivery is concerned, so here the major problem is if we are defining the scope of the project properly, what will happen? One good thing is there will not be any sort of problem with respect to the creep. Otherwise, we will end up in scope creep zone. So we will be able to minimize that if you are able to define the scope of the project properly. So for defining the scope of the project, so in our course, we will be learning about different methods, how we will be able to define it properly, right? So if you are narrowly defined down the scope, what will happen? We will end up in all these problems.
Yeah, and as far as the service delivery is concerned, fundamentally it is different with respect to the projects in that the centricity of the consumer, centricity of the customer becomes paramount. So those kind of things are often captured by service level agreements and things like that. So detailing of those things can be also discussed in the classroom.
Right. Anup Kumar has posted a query stating that biggest challenge in project management is managing scope creep. How to deal with it?
Now we have discussed about that. So I was talking about defining the scope of the project here possible. Otherwise, what will happen? The scope will be getting creeped in phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 like that, and it will become a never-ending game. So that's why you have to define the project properly.
Right. We have a question from Mr. Subramaniam. Certification contains grade or classification? So while you receive a certificate along with a mark sheet, will it contain a grade or a classification in terms of numbers? I think grade. Yeah, Nishikant will come to you. Just hold on for a moment.
It's a certificate program, so normally, the certificate of completion gets awarded. If typically somebody asks a specific, puts in a specific request that out of individual components, how much they have fared, then it can be provided as well. Because it's not a degree granting program. So degree granting programs are fundamentally very different with respect to certificate programs.
Right. We have a question from Gauri Agarwal. How this program can help an individual to take transition from one field to another, and how this program is different from other IIMs and IITs.
So invariably, frankly speaking, if you think of comparing this program with certain other program or something or the other, what you will see is that as far as overall finiteness of subject matter is concerned, that overall finiteness remains pretty much the same. However, at the same time, what you will be able to realize is that particularly post-COVID world, wherein lots of things have changed, we are talking about future of the work, we are talking about improved resilience or responsiveness in the system. We are talking about also challenging the assumption that resources are not always available. You have seen the case of Russia-Ukraine war, you have seen the conflicts that is going on in Gulf. So all of these challenges, all of these standard assumptions that we often take into granted as far as operations management is concerned is increasingly being challenged. So one of the emphasis of our course is also to how do you incorporate those newer notions into the existing knowledge or existing operational frameworks that we have. That is also one of the important points here. And it would not be fair to compare one program with another IITs or other IIMs program. But what we are trying to essentially highlight is what our program does.
Right, absolutely. I think every IIMs or IITs would have their, kind of understanding in terms of the larger understanding of the market requirements, industry requirements, and then they will curate the program accordingly. I think IIM Raipur has also done the same thing. And so the topics that are mentioned is relevant in today's context. And of course, as you can see that even sensitive topics like AI has also been included, which is mandatory in every field as we go forward. Yadvir has a query. He says, "Hi sir, what are the recent changes in the certification in terms of contents or topics?" So I think he wants to know that in the current context of the dynamic industry changes, what is it that is there in the program which is different from conventional programs in logistics and operations management?
So that is what we emphasize is particularly those kind of challenges related to continuity of resources, the kind of challenges related to increased emphasis on data-based decision making as opposed to taking purely experiential-based decisions or as opposed to taking many times ad hoc-based decisions. So those are something which are fundamentally different. We also talked about the Professor Gopal also talked about the increased emphasis on the responsiveness part, which was not that much prevalent earlier. Earlier, we had significant focus on the standardization element within the operations management. Now we are not looking at standardization. We are in the era of mass customization. Look at automobiles itself. Think about if you're trying to buy a car. You have all the options just the way you design a laptop or just the way you design a smartphone or even just the way you try to design a Subway pizza for you or a Subway sandwich for you. So that is what we are seeing in the world of product as well, which essentially entails or refers to the mass customization. So all of those nuances will try to cover as far as the course is concerned.
Right. One question which is even I also have an interest upon is I've received on WhatsApp that how does this program enhance leadership capabilities in operations and project management? So will it will it also kind of take through the leadership elements of operations and project management as such?
So I think Professor Ramkumar would be able to, talk about it, because particularly when we are dealing with the project management part, there are lots of skills related to management of risks, the way you mitigate risks, the way you make sure that you do not put all your eggs in a single basket, and also in the operations and supply chain part as well. When we are talking about the leadership, we are not really talking about the softer skills here. But in the operations and supply chain part itself, since we are taking a viewpoint of the strategic plane, since we are taking a 30,000 feet view of the entire orchestration of organization, and at the same time we will be diving deeper, so we will be able to appreciate the program both from a leader perspective as well as from a managerial perspective as well. So I think my colleagues can add.
Yes. Now here, what we will do is the major problem with respect to projects is normally people are overly optimistic. So that's why what will happen, they will be ending up in facing the problems. So what we will do is we will be giving lot of mini cases which will address, maybe for example, during different scenarios, what kind of actions you will be able to take. Because there are a lot of methods, there are a lot of formats and all. But here, I will tell you, especially as far as this particular problem is concerned, what we will be able to do is, we will estimate why we cannot even think about putting some sort of management reserves or contingent reserves. Sometimes this may be solving the purpose, because most of the time what will happen, the major problem with respect to projects is poor estimation because of the overly optimism. So how we will be able to bring it down? This and all we will discuss with many cases, small cases.
Right. Karthikeyan S has a query. I have already completed an MBA in project management and am now considering transitioning into operations and supply chain management. How will this course impact or shape my professional career? Or should I consider enrolling in an MBA focused on operations instead? Could you please provide some clarification?
So it is essentially about the level of detail or the depth that you want to get into. I mean, it will not be fair to compare a certificate program with a degree program. It's a 6 month program, having around 70, 80 odd hours of coverage. But if you were to compare it with an MBA program, MBA programs are typically 1,000 hour plus type of a program. So if frankly, if I were to compare the two programs, it would be comparing chalk and cheese. So probably in my mind, I will not be comparing those two programs. And as far as the individual milestones are concerned, or as far as the individual aspirations are concerned, I think all of us are mature enough. We understand what we need to do and what we want in life.
Yes, I will also pick up one or two queries from the Q&A section. Good evening, sir. This is from Manav. Can you also enlighten something related to inland water transportation role in India supply chain?
Okay. So as far as depending upon the how classroom goes, it is quite possible that we might take input from a certain executive or certain working professional, and we might delve upon it. But again, the emphasis of the course is not on a specific industry. The emphasis of the course is much more holistic. And depending upon the requirement, we may capture some of the discussions related to certain specific industry as well. But again, just to emphasize, since we are talking about a very wide audience, not a certain audience who are part of a specific industry, therefore the discussions are going to be much more broader and much more holistic and much more generalistic in nature.
Right. I think thank you for answering this. Rajesh Sharma, he has a query. Key challenges in today's scenario. And AI utilization to enhance project efficiency on account of budget and schedule. So he wants to know, are there any key challenges in a scenario wherein AI utilization is there into project efficiency on account of budget and schedule?
Now here, as far as budgeting is concerned, so most of the time, what we will do is we will be thinking that this might be the budget that is required. What we will do is we will maybe this is what I was trying to tell you. Project is having a key ingredient called uniqueness. But sometimes we might be having some experience in managing similar projects. So now what we will do, we will be just estimating based upon that. But the thing is, are we really putting any sort of reserve for risk? If you are able to do that, then what will happen? You will be able to come up with the actual. There will not be any sort of huge difference between the actual and the estimated budget, right? We will be able to go in that particular angle.
So adding to Professor Ramkumar's point also, so you're talking about AI. So I'm not sure whether many of you might have experimented with ChatGPT or ChatGPT Plus. If you ask for prompts, there is a specific area called prompt engineering. If you ask for prompt that you develop this project scope, that you develop this budget, of course they will give you. All these AI-enabled tools would populate a number of things for you. But is it reliable enough? Do you have the domain knowledge? Do we have the domain expertise to rely upon those things, rely upon those frameworks that essentially help them? That becomes a challenge. So at best, AI can help to maybe enhance the productivity to a certain degree, but there is no substitute for domain knowledge. There is no substitute for working knowledge. There is no substitute for the academic frameworks.
Right. A very relative question, because you will find a lot of people coming from this background also. Bhaskar Ganguly has mentioned that, can a diploma engineer who has more than 15 or 16 years of experience pursue this course? So I presume that the diploma format is 10 plus 2 plus 3.
I think it's a administrative decision. I don't think that is a problem. Meaning, even I think this is a strategic decision. I think which
Yeah.
can
So I think Bhaskar, what we will do is that we'll come back to you. That basis your diploma. Nafiz, you can get in touch with Bhaskar and guide him, right? And we will see that if the protocols say that he is about to he can apply, he will definitely apply.
Sure.
So, yeah. Vivek Kapade, you wanted to see the certificate once again. Don't worry, we will share you the certificate design, at the end of this, while we end this session once again, right? And if you want, we will share it over mail also. That should not be a problem. Okay, there were some raised hands also. I would give them a chance as well.
There's a question. Hello, which one is more effective for making a finished good in make or buy decision in an organization? Okay, so at the end of the course, what you will often see is that we will see that typically these kind of standardized binary questions, what we will see will not often come up, because whenever we are talking about a certain decision, it has huge implication all across the board. So, for example, if you make a mine or make if you do a make a decision or buy decision, it has complications across cost, quality, delivery, safety, morale, and whatnot. So I won't. Depending upon the context, the decisions might gravitate in one way or the other. So there is no way actually to kind of answer this, but we will understand the implications of both of these two.
Yes.
Sir, there are two participants who has raised their hands. I think we should take
We
their
have
questions.
unmuted them. So Revana Subramaniam, you can speak.
This is Subramanian. Thank you so much. Two questions I have requested. One was answered for the grade or classification during the program. I'm clarified. The second one, the list of members, the peers who are all in this course for this batch can be shared to the team so that we can create any contact group or some of the clarifications within ourselves during studies may be helpful for us. Is it possible?
So I will take this question, Mr. Subramaniam. So I think Nafees, you can reach out to Mr. Subramaniam. And have you already applied for the program, Mr. Subramaniam?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So if you have already applied, there should not be any hesitancy in that, because any which ways your technical orientation is going to happen soon, and you will be anyway going to interact with your peers as well. So
Sure.
should not worry about that. You will of course be a part of that overall community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rivana
Rivana,
Angadi, you can speak.
Yeah.
Mr. Manav Goel is asking one question. He
Yes.
says, can you also enlighten something related to inland water transportation role in India's supply chain? Mr. Manav, yes, we will be touching transportation mode, and we will also discuss the ramification of using multiple modes of transportation.
Rivana Angadi, you want to ask a question? You're unmuted. Please speak. I think you can proceed, Pulak.
Yeah. I'm just figuring out if you have any other query. Okay. There is a question which comes as an obvious question, that what are the synergistic benefits of combining project management and operations management skills in one program? Of course, I mean both are synergetic, but how does one benefit with the collective learning?
So one of the things that academia and I'm sure industry also realizes is that the more and more we go in the future, the more and more interdisciplinary problems we are talking about. Earlier, we used to often take a siloed perspective wherein say, okay, this is a purely operational decision, okay, this is a purely tactical decision, okay, this is purely day-to-day, this is purely project-based, this is purely service-based, etc. But what we are seeing is that so much of complexity leads ultimately to the fact that all of these decisions interact. So, for example, what kind of project are we talking about? If I am talking about some kind of a commissioning from ground sub project, do we have a make to order kind of a situation, or do we have a make to stock kind of a situation from a pure operational perspective? So, this is just a small example which shows the interdisciplinary nature of all of these various knowledge bases. And therefore, we have brought together all of these three elements, wherein we will be talking about interdisciplinary as well as functional domain.
No, I will also take this question forward. The thing is, let us take some example from forecasting. So you might have seen in 2019, when there was a shift from Bharat Standard 4 to Bharat Standard 6, you might be seeing in newspapers, companies were giving, if you are buying this particular car, we will give a discount of 1.5 lakh or 1 lakh. Why this discount tamasha happened during the time? So if you are just thinking what happened, they have anticipated the demand, they have manufactured and they have kept the cars in the godowns. So somewhere the forecasting tool has failed. Now, taking this question forward, now let us, because this is a day-to-day scenario. Now, if we are just talking about projects, what will happen? Even we will be facing too much of problems with respect to estimation, right? So definitely, forecasting is there in operations also, forecasting is there in project also. But now how we are taking it forward by taking the real life into account, that is what matters, right? So definitely there is an interdisciplinary element that is there. So that's why it is making sense to club both the subjects together.
Yes, I think can't much agree with you, Professor Mohit and Professor Ramkumar. Any other query from anyone? You can raise your hand and get your queries responded to.
Sonanda H wanted to speak.
Go ahead.
Swanand Hegde.
Swanand.
Yeah.
Swanand, please speak. Your mic is unmuted.
Swanand, can you speak? Seems to be some audio issue. If you want, you can post it on the chat also, your query. Any other query that is coming in mind, Darius, Nafiz, so I mean, most of the queries that generally we face during, our advisory sessions also is mostly counted here, and we have responded to it. But anything that can be, we can share. In the meantime, I think, did we get a query here?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, please share the contact number. Nafiz, you can share your contact number, and you also share the central contact number as well, call center contact number.
Sure, doing it.
Sorry, this is
Swanand
Rubra
will-
again.
Yeah.
During your discussions, you said the classes will be starting mid of September. That means the duration of the course will be ending over by mid of February, right, sir?
Yes, 6 months. Yes.
Okay.
I think Swanand has posted his query. How analytics impacting in the project management? What we learn in this certification? Okay. How is analytics impacting the project management scenario?
Here, as far as analytics are concerned, we will be learning about multiple tools and techniques, right? So that are related to estimation, that are related to maybe how we will be able to arrive at a critical path. Then maybe what are the various scheduling tools that we will be able to use when we have to crash a project, right? So we will be on one side we will be learning about different mathematical tools. On another side we will be learning about multiple formats, which will be helpful for a real life project.
Right. So even in the optimization and analytics part also, what you will say is that how measures like NPV, net present value, or how measures like compatibility, incompatibility amongst the projects would drive ultimately your project selection decisions. So there are ways actually to handle it. There are ways actually to model it mathematically. So those things will have to also look into.
Okay. If you still have any further queries, you can reach out to us. Nafiz, you can also share your email ID. We are always there to respond to your queries, and our professors also have their sessions coming up, so they would part ways from us right now. So I would like to thank Professor Mohit, Professor Gopal, and Professor Ramkumar for making time of their busy schedule today on a Saturday evening, and thank you so much for addressing all the queries of the of the audience. And I'm sure we will come back to you with a very decent cohort, well learned, and I think with much more willingness to learn in this specific area and domain. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Jyotirmoy, if you can share the certificate once again for the benefit of the participants, and also the
Yeah, just
yeah. Yeah. So this tenure and everything is tentative. So, so this is just for your ideation that, how the certificate would look like. There could be minor changes if at all the institute desires to change at any point in time. But largely, this would be the certificate format. Right. So thank you for joining in today for this informative webinar. I'm sure you would have liked the interactions. Please reach out to the contact numbers that we have provided, and post this session, you will be also receiving a mailer with the details and the brochure. So any of you who have yet not applied, you can grab the chance because we have just a few seats left for enrollment. You can do it as fast as possible. And we look forward to see you during the technical and academic orientations forthcoming. Thank you so much and have a nice weekend.